Cancel culture, everyone's new favorite word. You'll see it everywhere. Opinion pieces, Twitter feeds, TV news, and it's caused quite a stir. It's been described as many things, being dangerous to free speech, just a form of accountability, mob justice, and the worst part of internet culture. Everyone has an opinion on it, apparently, and recently a bunch of prominent academics and other figures signed an open letter decrying cancel culture. So obviously something must be done, right? Just one small problem with that. Cancel culture isn't real. First of all, there are two different flavors of call-out that people have decided to roll into one amorphous concept. But don't worry, we got time for both. The first one we've been aware of for a good while. It's the OG cancel culture, the Me Too movement, or assault allegations. The first thing you should know about accusations is that they're really not a new phenomenon. I don't even have to go back very far to find scandals from this pre-Twitter era. The Catholic Church has had issues crop up semi-regularly since at least the 80s, and nobody's saying that's ruining free speech. And then there's the other one, where people criticize other people on the internet for things they say. That's also been going on for literal centuries. It just used to require enough money and time, so therefore money, for a lawyer in order to beat someone up in court, or access to media outlets, and enough catch it to get them to run hit pieces for you. This system also forced people without enough bread to fight into a settlement, and often bankrupted them. Furthermore, court judgments have a habit of creating a permanent record. Critical internet posts, not so much. Side note, are people who wail about cancel culture trademark counting YouTube itself? This little habit that communities here have of self-policing and creating drama by calling people out, sometimes career-endingly, seems like it'd be a nice example for people to use, right? Especially for the internet lot who complain whenever somebody says, hey, you know, that's not cool. Anyways, those are all old news, so it's time to set up some new definitions. What is cancel culture supposed to be, though, really? Is it assault or abuse allegations? Well, I'd say it's good that we as a society are much more willing to support and listen to victims who come forward with credible accusations. End of story. I once saw somebody go and write an opinion article in the New York Times on this one, and I was fully confused as to why a little Twitter in-joke was worthy of being covered as such a great tool of exposure and accountability when it's really just people ragging on each other for mild hypocrisy. Seriously, it's basically high school, and it's not hard to turn it back on people. Just ignore it, or my personal favorite, yes. Is it people saying, you know, what you're saying is kind of prejudiced or kind of not cool? Okay, complaining about this is literally the most disingenuous thing that I've ever seen. Granted, 9/11 is a historical event to me, so I might not have all the advanced kernels of wisdom trademark, but like, what? You're complaining because people take offense to what you say? Are people not allowed to judge you by your words and actions anymore? Seriously, it's like the class bully gets jumped one time and then runs and cries to the teacher because all those kids are mean to me specifically. Like, do you know how dumb that sounds to an outside observer? Oh yeah, there's also K-pop stans, but they don't really do anything except to report your Twitter account, which doesn't actually do anything because, well, I mean, there was that one time Tumet got a lawsuit, but welcome to the cave of the cancelled. Outcast from society, out of work, and stripped of their book deals, the unfortunate cancelled sit here, condemned to spend all of their days outside of what has been deemed civil society. We sent in a crack team of explorers to see how life goes on in there, and oh, would you look at that, we're getting preliminary results. Whoa! It's totally empty! Let's go through the lives of a couple people who have been quote-unquote cancelled. Louis C.K., comedian. Award-winning, highly decorated career. Known as one of the greats of comedy, his career has gone nowhere but up. At least it used to. Multiple accusations of misconduct, which were eerily similar to some recurring jokes in his stand-up, ended up surfacing, and there was a bit of an outcry, and consequences. He had a movie coming out that year. The promotion and hype machine was cut. He lost out on almost every planned role or special he had. Louis C.K. was dead in the water. Except, almost a year later, he popped back up, doing comedy, building goodwill, and clearly he still has an audience and a career. I mean, the man still sells out venues. Just give him a couple more years and he'll have his shows and his money and his movies rolling back in, I guarantee it. There's also the guy that made Chappelle's Show. Turns out he also does stand-up comedy. Who knew? And everyone loves it, at least they did until Sticks and Stones, which attracted a lot of controversy for his indelicate statements about LGBT folks for the sake of comedy. And because people are allowed to have opinions, there were tons of think pieces and heated forum conversations from here to wherever the Voyager space probe is at the moment about how that's not okay or they're just jokes. But guess what? Literal months after being cancelled, trademark, he released his most recent special, 846, discussing, well, America. And it has, as of the day that I'm recording this, racked up over 27 million views and rave reviews on top of that. And I guarantee you that there'll still be love for him as he keeps releasing content, and every time he does an interview, people like what he says. Yo, has anything actually happened to J.K. Rowling? Far as I can tell, people said, you know, that isn't cool on Twitter. Trans people expressed their hurt over her comments. She was hurt enough to eagerly sign on to the Harper's letter. And apparently her book sales aren't growing as quickly compared to the rest of the market or something. Wait, that's it? Seriously? All she did was get internet pushback? I've literally never seen any milder consequences than that for someone that's been cancel culture. This guy. You remember this guy, right? Makeup channel, hit up the Met Gala because he could afford a ticket, basically growing at a remarkable pace. He was the talk of the town in 2019. But remember, he runs a beauty channel, and you know what that means. Drama. Toddy Westbrook released a video attacking him for stealing vitamins or something. I don't know, I'm not 100% on the details, and there's no way I'm gonna destroy my recommendations for that. Anyway, she also implied that James was a bit of a predator, and Jeffree Star seized on it to make himself look better. It's a lot of stuff to keep track of a year ahead of it. The fallout was immediate. James lost so many subscribers in the space of a single week that YouTube changed their entire API to not show people's exact subscriber counts publicly anymore. Not on channel pages, not on Social Blade, nowhere. However, in a stupidly short time frame, he made a quick receipts video, and he didn't just regain all his subs, he got extra ones. Shoot, he's still on an upward trajectory as of right now. And nothing else related ever happened again. It wasn't cancel culture when Leafy left, right? After that video about how bullying people for being different isn't cool, he left for 3 years. Now he's back, and his view counts literally haven't taken a hit since 2017. I wouldn't mind if we put Leafy back in the dumpster. Next question. Kevin Hart didn't host the Academy Awards that one time? And declining that one was literally his choice. Oh yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy director James Gunn. A couple people decided to bring questionable old tweets of his to Disney's attention in 2018, accusing him of being a Gunn apologized for the tweets, and the apology seemed to be sincere. He did lose his job as director because the mouse avoids anything resembling bad PR. And then he immediately got another job. And then he got his old job back. That's literally the end of the story there. Okay, but what about that guy? You know, the kid, the guy, the one that had old tweets that did the thing, that one. Okay, well, do you really remember them? Can you think of a face? No? Alrighty then. I guarantee you that they just got ragged on by Twitter for like a few weeks. And now they're just living back to being regular old members of society with their careers intact and all. Kids are losing their college offers because of comments they made in high school. Surely that's wrong and cancel culture is run amok. First thing, most of the time it's not random internet people trademark digging up years old tweets. A majority of the time it's their classmates bringing up evidence of behavior from, at most, a literal year before. And chances are your classmates, who have been spending significant amounts of time with you for literal years, can see a pattern. Colleges will take notice too. Second thing, so what if you get an admissions offer rescinded or you choose not to attend? There's still plenty of schools that will accept you and give you just as good of an education. It's the definition of second chances. And also, 16-year-olds are old enough to know not to be racist. And if your response is, yeah, well, whomst among us hasn't been accidentally racist at 16? You know that doesn't make you look better, right? But what about the kid that Sky Jackson doxed? What about him, huh? He was only 13. So, first things first. Doxing people is wrong. She did not do the right thing and should definitely face some sort of consequences for that. Having said that, but I won't say it again. Oh yeah, August Ames, the one example of somebody who themselves because of cyberbullying. Oh wait, moving on. Aight, boom, here's the playbook. Say literally anything. Better if it's extremely questionable and factually untrue, and then brush off anything resembling criticism as the wokes. The problem is that, without fail, nothing's actually happened besides what used to be called pushback. People like to cry about cancel culture in order to squelch any criticism and or make themselves look like the victim in any situation. People like the Quarter Pounder.
With cheese, Mr. Squidward, with cheese.
He's like the street corner cellar grade version of Keemstar. I was introduced to his particular brand of content from a tweet getting mad at some guy for, and I kid you not, saying F Hitler. Yeah. So, he makes interesting content, and he says that cancel culture made him lose his sponsors for something he said 5 years ago. Okay. I mean, sponsors pretty much drop everyone at the drop of a hat, and that includes by saying that racism is bad on the internet. So basically, cancel culture is capitalism. Okay. Oh, yeah, this is my new favorite. This one author tried to get a transit worker fired for eating on the job via Twitter, ironically. And people said, hey, you know, that's not cool. She tried to blame cancel culture for ending her book deal, and she would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for her publisher vocally contradicting her, and the book still being on sale, albeit poorly reviewed. Despite a few outliers, people legitimately don't get affected by Twitter fingers, like ever. People who get fired are soon rehired, and celebrities? Celebrities still have their fan bases and careers intact, and often even ascend to new heights. No one remembers the quote-unquote ordinary people who get cancelled, not by name, or by Twitter account, or by what happens or anything, and at most a couple weeks. A bit of online chatter doesn't actually do anything, because as you should all know by now, the internet isn't real life. Follow me on Twitter and nobody gets hurt. Anyway, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Watch another video maybe, and also join the Discord server. The link's in the video description. Anyways, I'll see you next time.